YouTube, this is Chelsea with the story. I got a question. How much do y'all know about Balenciaga? And I asked this because I have been at a lot of like fancy malls, okay, recently. And it's very specifically the last one I went to had Balenciaga everywhere. There was in a lot of the department stores I was in. There was very specifically Balenciaga, like, specific stores and stuff. And I'm sorry, they have some ugly stuff. I don't understand. They had this weird boot that was like a Croc boot, except the Croc didn't have holes in it. And I was like, first of all, why does this exist? You're pretending it's a Croc, but it's a boot, and it was exorbitantly expensive for a rubber fake Croc boot. I don't understand. 100% I don't. So we're gonna watch Shoe0nHead video because it's about Balenciaga for the most part. So grab your snackies, grab your bevies, let me know what you eating or drinking down below, and let's get to watching. High fashion is kind of weird, I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, it was without, so like the Balenciaga boot that I saw that looked like a Croc. Like it was like a Croc, except like it was like a cross between like a rain boot and a Croc. And there weren't holes. There were like fake holes. Like there's divots where there would be holes in a Croc, except there weren't any. So you couldn't even add your own little gems and shit to it. Like I don't understand.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the creepy Balenciaga photo shoot you may have heard of, how I helped accidentally kick off Balenciaga Gate, the bizarre defenses of the photo shoot, and how I lost friends over it.
No, it was not the red Lego looking boot. It was not like the Astro Boy boot. It was somewhat similar. It was literally like take a rain boot and a Croc and combine them. So it was different. It was still hideous.
No, I'm not joking. This is going to be a wild one. So get comfy, get cozy. I made you some hot chocolate. Look, it's got marshmallows in it.
Yay! Marshmallows.
So for those
I like marshmallows. I'll just eat them. Anytime I have marshmallows in my house, I just eat them out of the bag. It's kind of a problem.
of you who don't know, because I sure as hell did not before all of this, Balenciaga is a high-end fashion clothing brand that sells ugly shit like this for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I personally do not buy Balenciaga clothing. I am not a filthy capitalist. I buy my clothes on Amazon, like a good socialist. Anyway, the company is currently under fire for their new holiday collection photo shoot. And when you see these photos...
Also, this is old. Like, this happened a while ago. This isn't like a brand new video or whatever. But like, going through a mall where there's Balenciaga everywhere, and I was like, why are people spending money on this? Like, I legitimately don't understand. Like, I'm all for it. Hey, if you have money, you should spend it and boost the economy. Like, that's how the economy works. You should spend your money, like, if you have it. Like, if you have a lot of money, like, spend your money, buy things, right? Put the money back in circulation, yeah? But I don't understand Balenciaga, like, at all. Like, at all.
Photos, you will probably understand why. One was a little girl on a couch with a very worried, sad look on her face, surrounded by alcohol and holding a teddy bear that was wearing a full BDSM harness. There was other pictures of the girl laying on the couch, as well as another shot of another sad little girl on the bed surrounded by Balenciaga items.
So I feel when, like, you have something like this, like this, oh, it's in BDSM wear or whatever, you usually get, like, younger looking but adult models to do it, you know? Like, oh, she's like 18 or something. Hopefully, God. But, like, you know, like they're adults, but you're kind of like, hey, teenagers, hey, young adults, hey, well, when I say young adults, I mean, like, actual, like, 18, 20s, like, that kind of stuff. Because, like, a legitimate child doesn't have the money to buy this. I mean, I guess if their parents are super rich, they could be like, Mom, I want this. But, like, that's just kind of weird. Like, this is just kind of weird.
Chains and a whole ass leash, a little weird, a little sussy. Like, the pictures just gave you bad vibes. But anyway, to make things even worse, right on their homepage, right next to that photo shoot, was a photo of a purse on a desk. Seems normal, right? But the only visible paper sticking out from under the purse, the only piece of paper with any text on it, conveniently right there, was a court case related to child pornography. Creepy. Coincidentally, 2 days before this all hit.
Why? Why would you have that on the... Why?
The internet, Balenciaga left Twitter. Not only did they delete their Twitter account, but they deleted every single photo off of their Instagram page.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
So actually,
yeah. What did you realize you fucked up? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you do any of this?
I really found all of this out because I saw a TikTok on my Twitter timeline by the streamer Brittany Venti.
They also had a document on their page about the court case allowing for virtual to be legal. Makes you wonder.
And she was talking about this. And I couldn't believe it. So I went to Balenciaga's website and lo and behold, it was real. The creepy photo shoots, the CP document, everything was right there. So I made my own tweet about it. And
brand Balenciaga just did a interesting photo shoot for the new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual CP. And all
this
stuff.
tweet winded up absolutely popping off. I had no idea the entire internet started talking about it because once a tweet of mine starts to blow up, I just mute it and just move on with my day.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, that's like, are you being the PR person? Like, first of all, who thought this was a good idea? Who, like, are you trying to be edgy and fucked up that royally? Or, like...
The tweet was all over mainstream media. New York Post even called me a, quote, eagle-eyed social media watchdog. Okay? This spiraled completely out of control.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Listen, you see these shoes? You can buy similar, not exactly the same because this part will look different, but you can buy similar. Like, just look up like sock shoe or like knit boot or something. You can buy them for cheap. You don't have to pay Balenciaga. First of all, at this point, I'm not sure if Balenciaga actually has anything unique to them. That seems really mean, but like I don't think they're the ones that came up with this first based on their croc boot, rain boot thing I just saw. Like the fact that they had what was basically a Chuck Taylor at the beginning of this with rips in it that just looked like someone spray painted Balenciaga on the side of it. Do they have a single individual unique thing, or do they just kind of take stuff and remake it and put a stupid price tag on it? Like, legitimately, legitimately, you know?
Burning their Balenciaga items.
There is just no PR team that is going to get them out of this one.
Making rap songs against Balenciaga.
Now I burn Balenciaga. They keep coming for our kids. Now we need to.
Why would you buy those tennis shoes? Is it just because they say Balenciaga on them? Like, I'm sorry. I'm one of those people that, like, I talked about this the other day. I like some of, like, Michael Kors, which, again, is not on the same level as Balenciaga. I'm aware of it. But, like, I like some Michael Kors stuff, specifically some of their shoes, except it is covered in, like, big block Michael Kors, MK, the Michael Kors logo, all this other stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to buy a shoe that, like, basically screams Michael Kors on the side. Like, I like that it's a wedge. I like that it's kind of like a sneaker. It looks good, except for the fact that it says Michael Kors really big where the zipper is. And, like, I'm not into that. So I really wish they would come out with one that was more tasteful in their, like, logo and product placement. But I understand that that's also, like, they want people to see that you're wearing Michael Kors and blah, 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 blah. I get it. But I don't want to wear, like, branding clothing that is, like, the brand is in your face, if that makes sense, right? Like, I want good quality stuff, but I don't want the branding to be in your face. I don't want to be a walking billboard for you, personally. And that is so hard to find. Like, you know, Like Lululemon, it has like their little logo on the back bottom part of your shirt. I think that's tasteful. The Nike swoosh, when it's just like on your breast pocket of my hoodie, that's fine. But like, you know, just when it's just in your face, it bothers me. So like the fact that you're buying probably Balenciaga because it says Balenciaga, I'm just not on that train. Like, no, thank you. I mean, it's really just like, hey, look, I can afford Balenciaga. I'm wearing Balenciaga. Like,
Cheer100, I actually wouldn't buy branded clothing at all. Even if I had the money, I would dress like it's 2006.
I mean, I just want it to like not be super crazy in your freaking face. And that's just me personally. Like, I'm totally fine with like, hey, this is good quality. Great. It's good quality. Love that for me. Love that like my money is going to something that lasts like legitimately. I don't want the branding. I don't want to be your walking billboard. That's just me personally. So like, I'm just like, dude got sneakers that are probably stupid expensive that say Balenciaga on them. I just don't understand.
Even vandalizing Balenciaga stores. Also, just so everyone knows, I am not suicidal. Just in case news comes out that I was found with 3 designer bullets in the back of my head. And I don't think Brittany Venti is either, so if either of us, we do not have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. The best part about this, though, has to be I was fact-checked by Twitter, and this is what they said. Although Shoe often makes comments to cause amusement or laughter, this is an authentic Balenciaga marketing photograph. It contains an excerpt from the U.S. Supreme Court opinion in United States v. Williams, which upheld a part of federal child pornography law.
Robin Fillion, thanks for the follow-up.
I've never seen one of these fact-checker things just be like, fact-check true. I know Shoe likes to get a little silly, but she's actually serious this time.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen one of those fact-check things being like, this is actually legit. I don't think I've seen that either. I've seen a lot of like, this is a lie, or this is not true, or this photo is not where it claims it was taken, and blah, 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 blah. I've never seen it be like, this is true, actually.
I also love that it just says Shoe. Like, Twitter and I are just on a first-name basis now. Now, you're probably asking, Shoe, why would a high-end fashion brand pull this, like, Where's Waldo shit? Well, there are a few theories. The most obvious one is to just look edgy and subversive. Nothing like a good old controversy to get eyes on your brand. So if this was some kind of pathetic attempt at an attention grab, they sure got attention and much more. I wouldn't put it past corpos to do some weird attention whoring like this, and I definitely wouldn't put it past the fashion industry. The other theory is that this is just a little wink, a little nod to the other freaks in the industry. Think the Wilhelm scream, but for like little St. James tourists. Finally, Balenciaga, the brand itself, came out and apologized. We sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should have not been featured with children in this campaign.
Yeah, like, why did you... The fact that they were using children is, like, really weird. Like, I don't understand... I don't know, because, again, usually it's, like, you know, teenage models or, like, younger adult models that do stuff like that because it's like, oh, let's be edgy and kind of like use this thing that is generally for children but as an adult, I guess, like a teddy bear, like a teddy bear purse. So like, I'm just like, this is so weird.
We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. We apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our spring campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being.
With Balenciaga facing a firestorm over a series of disturbing new ads, all eyes and ears were on their highest profile partner for comment.
What are those
disturbing
glasses?
New ads, all eyes and ears.
I just don't understand high fashion. I'm gonna be honest with you. Godwin, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Like, I don't know.
Ears were on their highest profile partner for comment. Kim finally released a statement on Sunday calling herself disgusted and outraged.
Meanwhile, her ex-husband, Kanye West, after going on InfoWars and saying, quote, "There are a lot of things I love about Hitler," ran defense for Balenciaga.
And now all of a sudden, everyone is so outraged and focused on Balenciaga, but then we're still aborting our kids. We're still fornicating, but we don't wear Balenciaga now. You shut the hell up.
So fellow paranoid schizophrenics started digging and found more creepy things in the photos from Balenciaga. And this has spiraled into a much bigger conspiracy. This is the thing with conspiracies, though. They're always rabbit holes. When there's so many things that are unexplained about the world and people just kind of feel helpless and powerless, people understandably start to look for answers elsewhere. And a lot of people took this Balenciaga thing as just kind of the rich and powerful doing what they do in secret now out in the open. Do I think this is some kind of Pizzagate thing where Balenciaga's like hiding children in their basement? Do I think they are literally trafficking children? I don't think that. I don't know that.
I feel like maybe they were just trying to be really edgy in the worst kind of way. I don't know. Like, it just feels stupid. Like, it really just feels stupid to me. I don't know. But I feel like maybe they were just kind of like doing edgy shit and then was like, this is tanking us. This is tanking. Oh fuck. We fucked up too much. Like, I don't know. It just, ugh.
Claim to know that. What I do know is that this is a huge up from a billion-dollar company. And when a billion-dollar company up, who better to come to their defense than the progressive left? Can we stop pretending Shoe is an ally yet? Shoe0nHead belongs in a prison cell for hate speech.
Because she doesn't stand with Balenciaga's bullshit, she's not an ally? What do you mean?
Shoe herself is basically a terrorist enabler at this point. You are a Nazi. Shoe is literally just a Nazi. Yeah, Shoe is a Nazi. Shoe0nHead is a fascist and a danger to our community. This is your daily reminder that Shoe0nHead is a Nazi. I'm sick of Shoe0nHead. She needs to go. No more. I think that if a button to deplatform her existed, we should push it this instant. Do you think reporting her vids would do anything? Hate speech and all? How about we mass report her Twitter? Fuck Shoe. This crosses a line. Shoe is a...
Like, y'all so worried about Balenciaga? What the fuck? Like, y'all so worried about Balenciaga? First of all, the rich and famous in Hollywood, if they like Balenciaga or if Balenciaga pays them off, they'll continue using Balenciaga. They'll continue being a walking billboard for Balenciaga. Like, they'll say stuff about Balenciaga in every interview because that's what happens, right? So it's like, you're not really canceling anything. And like, yeah, like, big brands should be called out when they do shitty things. She's a... What a slide to pause on. But like, I just... You know?
Cum dump enabler for fascist violence. Who'd expected anything else from a Nazi bimbo hag? She's fundamentally the enemy and should always be treated as such. People like Shoe and Matt Walsh are the types of people I believe committing acts of violence against is morally justified. Now, I just need to make this clear that this is in no way a representation of the entire left online. Most of the people who follow me are left-wing, and they agreed that, yeah, this photo shoot was really weird. The people who are mad about this are from a pretty small bubble, but nevertheless, lo and behold, I was apparently canceled. Now, I use the term canceled sort of sarcastically because I really wasn't canceled. It's kind of impossible to cancel me in general because I have 4 different fan bases and they all hate each other and me. And a lot of you guys watching this probably didn't even know all of this happened, but it was just very weird and I need to talk about this. Shoe0nHead on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time the day after another anti-gay terror attack. I'm sorry. Where are the gays? My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT people. The Balenciaga thing in general had nothing to do with LGBT people. Where did this come from? This guy took a random response to my tweet and implied I was responsible for someone else's opinion and therefore fueling hate crimes against gay people. I'm just confused how Balenciaga posting an ad of kids holding stuffed animals and fetish gear turned into LGBT groomer discourse. Did I miss something? Look at the quote tweets and replies to her tweet thread from her followers.
Yeah, but you're not responsible you cannot be responsible for the opinions of the people that follow you. Like, listen, there are some opinions that pop up on, like, funnily enough, my Shoe0nHead videos that I don't necessarily agree with. It's just a thing that happens. Like, there's a lot of people on the internet and a lot of people that are going to interact with you, and you can't take responsibility for all of their thoughts or experiences. Like, that is ridiculous. And, like, if, like, Shoe isn't saying this, then you can't be like, no, it's Shoe's fault. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's just me and my personal opinion. I mean, like, I don't understand how it suddenly became, like, it might be groomer based, but it's not necessarily LGBT. But, like, I don't understand where the LGBT stuff came from, other than, you know, they're like, oh, it's from her followers. But, like, what? Like, can we not focus on the problem, which is Balenciaga, like, alluding to CP stuff and then having children interacting with fetish geared teddy bears? Like, that's not okay. Like, y'all went too far. Like, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, actually, now looking at the whole picture, like, that's weird and too far, you know?
I have 500,000 followers on Twitter. I have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I am not the retard wrangler. There were a few people, not that many, who took my tweet and ran with their own narrative of it. I cannot control the opinions of other people. And a lot of these people aren't even in my audience. They're just random people on Twitter who found my tweet because it went viral. That is how a public forum works. If someone is egregiously being homophobic or harassing people in my replies, I'll just block them. There's nothing else I can do. What do you want me to do about the opinions of other people? Why don't you focus on what I said and did? Is it because I said and did nothing wrong? I mean this with the most respect possible. Posting this a day after a homophobic terror attack that happened because the trans drag groomer scare comes off in very bad taste. I think choosing to bring this to light right after the shooting is phenomenally poor taste. Shoe0nHead throwing queers under the bus right after a mass shooting to cater to her homophobic audience. There was a mass shooting in a gay club in Colorado a few days before this Balenciaga thing broke. And because there was a shooting at a gay nightclub, I can't talk about pedophilia? What? To shitpost the LGBT community on Trans Day of Remembrance is so disrespectful, I don't even know what to say. Same vibe as criticizing veterans on Veterans Day. Let me get this straight. Criticizing a fashion brand for pedo-baiting on Trans Day of Remembrance is the same as criticizing veterans on Veterans Day? Bro.
This is a stretch. It is a reach. Like, come on. Like, you're saying that, like, you can't call anybody out because it might... Like, what? What? Jesus Christ.
You don't even need the far right at this point. You're doing their job for them. What the f***? Even if I saw it from their perspective, like, even if I removed my brain and replaced it with a little...
Yeah, they're making a connection to trans people that is not there and was never implied about in any way, but they are now making this connection exist themselves. Like, I don't understand. This whole problem is about CP. It's about children being fetishized. That's it. Like you said, that's all. That's a full sentence, unfortunately. Like, that's all it was. It's not about anything else. It's like, hey, protect the kids. This is fucked up. Like, this is not okay. And you're connecting it to all these other things that have nothing to do with it. And then you're getting mad. Like, I'm so confused.
toy monkey with symbols or whatever they have going on up there, even if I saw it from their point of view, if the issue they have with all of this is that I shouldn't be talking about this at a time where gay groomer rhetoric is popular, why aren't they mad at Balenciaga for doing an ad like this at the time the gay groomer thing is popular? Why aren't they directing their anger at the brand? Why are they shooting the messenger? The worst part about this is that this tweet came from a YouTuber who I've been friends with for years. Why is this person, who I thought was my friend, doing this unhinged Stretch Armstrong reach to imply I am responsible for the murder of LGBT people? This isn't how you would treat a friend. This isn't criticism. This isn't a joke. This is disgusting. I just don't understand, like, if you had a problem, why didn't you come to me in private? Why did you have to make it into some public sideshow epic dunk?
So a thing that we have seen, right, in multiple communities is someone blows up, someone becomes popular, someone becomes big online or whatever, and then they start making some choices that are not exactly good choices. And so part of it is like, hey, if they make this, it could blow up and they get more money based on it blowing up, maybe in some way, shape, or form, because it gets some more people looking at them, interacting with them, that kind of stuff, right? So like, just, that's why, because they have decided that they themselves and their quote unquote livelihood or their making money or their whatever is more important than the friendship they have with you, right? So they can throw you under the bus in order to get more out of what they're trying to do, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
For the world to see. Maybe this is karma, because I've dropped friends over politics before. Because honestly, I can't find any other explanation for this. But this wasn't even political. Like, I couldn't think of an optically worse thing to drop someone over. Like, I know you used to be right-wing. Personally, I can't relate. But not everything related to pedophilia has to do with gay people. Shoe needs to stop with the conspiracy posting. Ah yes, the conspiracy. The conspiracy that the fashion industry is f***ed up and weird. The conspiracy that the powerful elites are abusing children. That conspiracy. The worst part is she pretends to be gay so she can yell homophobe when you call her out. I'm convinced Shoe has no real political opinions and just says/believes whatever sounds good to her.
Yeah, leveraging social capital. That's a good way of posting or putting it. Like, so you're not friends anymore because they decided to leverage their social capital and try to get more out of flaming you than just being friends with you and being quiet.
Isn't that what an opinion is? Begging people to finally realize Shoe is literally just right-wing. Shoe is a conservative, no matter how many lefties try to say otherwise. There's a term coined by Lindsay Ellis that I think fits Shoe. She's a diet Nazi. Shoe0nHead is a right-wing propagandist. She is likely paid to be so, either directly or indirectly. I f***ing hate Shoe. She's not a leftist. She's a fascist who wants healthcare. Does this look like a fascist to you? She needs to be kicked out of the left like yesterday. She is a fascist. If you are denying it at this point, you are just a simp. Shoe0nHead is a right-wing paid propagandist infiltrating leftist spaces. She's a calculated and insincere plant, and she needs to be excommunicated.
This is wild to me because, you know, you could just ignore them. Like, instead of constantly talking about Shoe0nHead, trying to do a smear campaign, trying to get Shoe canceled, all this other shit, and like blowing Shoe's name up, you could literally just ignore them. That's it. Like, if enough people start ignoring her, right? It's like, it's kind of like this thing of like, you vote with your wallet, right? If the movie's not good, don't go pay to see it. Like, don't go to a theater and pay money to go see the movie. If you don't agree with the movie, or if the movie's shit, or if it's mediocre, don't go see it. If you don't agree with the brand, don't buy it. Like, you kind of vote with your money. you know, there's issues with like McDonald's saying that they're losing money, all this other stuff because people stopped going to McDonald's. Like, it's like how boycotts work, right? Like, if you don't, that's why people boycott. Okay? It's similar kind of things. Like, you're advertising for her by talking about her. If you don't like her, stop talking about her. Don't follow her. Don't have interaction.
We need to boot Shoe from the left. She isn't a leftist. At this point, we just have to not let Shoe exist on the left anymore. Inevitably, she is going to leave the left, and it will not be surprising.
Also, I don't understand this whole, like, we should not let her in left spaces, is basically what they're saying. Like, what space? How can you physically remove her from a space? Like, because the spaces we're talking about, I guess, are like the internet. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What you're saying is not possible and makes no sense to me. Like, oh, we're going to ban her from being a leftist. How are you going to accomplish that? Like, legitimately, how would you do that? What you're saying makes no sense.
So first of all, if I was going to leave the left over left-wing people being mean to me, I would have left the left like 8 f***ing years ago. I know it's hard for these people to understand because their extent of politics is quite literally Discord servers and Reddit communities. You cannot be kicked out of opinions.
Okay,
like, I can call myself a right-winger right now, but I would be the shittiest right-winger ever, probably on account of the whole, I don't know, socialism thing. The whole being a socialist might get in the way. But more importantly, I don't know what about me calling shit like this out makes me not left-wing. It genuinely feels like some massive psyop. Like, I want workers' rights and for people to have their basic necessities met. I didn't sign up for this weird-ass shit. I'm just so tired of, like, trying to prove to these people that I'm left-wing. I'm just tired of being like, no, you don't understand. I voted for Bernie in 2016 and in 2020. I believe this and I believe that. I'm tired. I'm too old for this shit. I am exhausted. These people just want me to be some, like, progressive little shit lib, rising from the ashes of, like, the anti-SJW world. They want me on my hands and knees groveling and apologizing for making, like, stupid level 1 baby edgy jokes about attack helicopter.
Okay, I looked over and saw Ray going, Chels were ending, and I was like, what do you mean? And it's just like, I'm tired, I'm too old for this shit, no energy. And I'm like, there it is! That is, yeah. That would be me. Just like, hey, I'm tired, bye. I'm old, bye.
5 years ago. They want me saying we need to destigmatize pedophilia or want me simping for the CIA or whatever the f these people are up to nowadays. And it's like, no, not gonna happen. Sorry. What's so funny is a lot of these content creators do agree with me, but they won't say so in public. Like, they DM me and they're like, oh, you're so right, instead of just doing it publicly because they fear their own audiences. It's literally so sad. It's like an abusive relationship. But I just want to go back to the more important, less personal aspect of this whole thing, and that is the connection between pedo and LGBT. So of course there are a lot of people on the right wing who are comparing the two. They have been doing this since the 1950s. The pedo smear has been thrown at gay people for decades. There's always been people on the right who will compare all the things I talk about, like the maps and stuff, to gay people. But it's very clear from my content, if you've watched my content, which I really don't think a lot of these people who are mad at me have done. It's
honestly probably not. The people that are mad at you probably do not watch your content. That is probably a whole ass thing. Because people just get mad and then they just start saying things without doing any research at all.
It's very clear from my content that I've always pushed back on this. But what is new to me is now liberals coming out and saying I can't talk about this stuff, and that talking about it is somehow inherently anti-gay. Which, when you think about it, is really, really bad. Shoe has never been a leftist. She's a right-wing reactionary trad wife who has an unhealthy obsession with making false equivalences between LGBTQ people and pedophiles.
Can I just be honest? Can I be 100%? Okay, I hate trad wife. And I hate the phrase. I hate the word, okay? Because it means traditional wife. But in my mind, I think like the triad or like mafia shit, and I'm like, okay. And then I just find out, no, it means like a traditional wife. And then you hear about all the horrible things about people trying to get out of the trad wife lifestyle and how terrible it was and all this other shit. And I'm just like, cool. Like, I don't know why. Like, yeah, I just, for whatever reason, think mob wife. I don't know why. So every time I see it, I'm just like, no, it's not mob wife. It's not like, oh yeah, she like a bad bitch, or like, oh, she's doing like crimes. It is like, she's just a traditional wife, and the amount of information talking about how abusive the lifestyles that they live often are. And I'm just like, oh, great. Like, you get the image of a mob wife trying to go legit. I mean, like, that is just like a random rant of mine. I don't know why it is like that, but like, yeah.
So first of all, let's be very clear here. I have been doing the opposite of this my entire career. This has been one of my focuses on this channel for years. And do you know what one of the core messages of a lot of those videos were? They are now trying to squeeze themselves into the LGBT community. And do not be mistaken, the LGBT community ain't having that shit. You cannot sit with the LGBT community.
And she got the Sailor Moon, like, what is it? Comforter. She got the Sailor Moon comforter. That's Serena's comforter. That's Usagi's comforter. I see you. You're a weeb.
You can't sit with us! And for the people who go, must slippery slope, you're fueling
Who the fuck is this? I don't think I've seen these before. Who is this? I don't recognize this.
Delusions that they did actually successfully break their way into the community. They're latching on a movement that is currently, finally, seeing acceptance, which makes them snakes.
There's literally nothing more dangerous about pedophilia than any other sexual attraction when you think about it.
You hear that, guys? There is no difference between an adult consensually having sex with another adult and an adult having sex with a child. Amazing! We learned so much on this channel!
But right now, since gays and transgender people have already gotten much of their rights all throughout the world, I think it's time for pedophiles to have their turn.
Shut up! Shut up!
I got distracted by the gorillas.
This right here is what triggers my timbers. Gay, consenting adults can do whatever they want with other gay, consenting adults. A pedophile's sexuality, children aren't a gender, so it's not a sexuality, but like I've said before, cannot go through with their sick fetish without harming anybody. Speaking as a gay man, I believe we should include the P. To do otherwise is to betray the principles that give us our rights.
I don't think we should. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. Nope.
For the last f***ing time.
You can't sit with us!
My main point in a lot of those videos was, you can't sit with us. Nearly a decade of content of me going, this is really bad, the LGBT community isn't defending this, only for a chunk of the left to suddenly go, stop right there, Hitler. Shoe never seems to go after right-wing pedo shit. I wonder why that is. Okay, I only make maybe like, what, 5 videos a year? It shouldn't be that hard to go onto my page and scroll and just see this video, which is about exactly that. Like, it's right there. You don't even have to scroll. It's right there. Like, I made my prostasia video about a year ago. Remember my prostasia video where I exposed some child protection organization? What if I posted that video today? Would I be bombarded with these same people and called a Nazi and a reactionary and whatever? Because the only people that were doing that last year was the organization itself. The pedo organization was calling me alt-right for exposing them. That's you. That's you right now. It's a pattern from Shoe that she had for years. Even though she didn't say gay groomer out loud, it can be seen as a dog whistle.
Why are you just connecting every, like... Am I dumb? Because, like, there's, like, this whole thing of, like, you should just look at something at face value. And then there's, like, situations of, like, no, you need to read between the lines. These people are pretending they're reading between the lines by inserting just their opinions. And, like, I don't understand. Like this wasn't, like... Why are you making connections that are just not there? And you're claiming that, like, oh, it's there in some vibe, maybe. I don't know. Like, I just, like, what do you mean?
Shoe may not have said anything about LGBTQ plus people out loud, but we can hear the dog whistle from
She didn't say anything out loud, but I feel like deep down in her brain and her thoughts and her not consciousness, it was there. I feel it.
miles away.
Crazy.
Shoe knows exactly what she's doing. 31-year-old knows exactly what she's doing. That's the thing. She did not mention gay and trans people. We know that she is thinking it, and so does her audience. It's called a dog whistle. She hides behind technically not saying anything explicit. Stop falling for her dog whistling tactic. Just because she didn't say gay doesn't mean that it's not what she's implying.
Are y'all okay? Like, cause it seems like y'all got some beef and you're trying to make her out to be the bad guy. And when I say y'all got beef, I don't mean they have beef with Shoe. It's like they want Shoe to say the horrific things that they personally think, but she didn't say it, so now they have to call out and pretend like she said it, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, are y'all, like, therapy, man. Work through some shit.
The sheer amount of people who still don't know that Shoe0nHead is a dog whistle. Her name is a dog whistle. It always was. It's so funny to me that you can literally breathe and these people will find a way to make it a dog whistle, but a child could be holding a teddy bear in bondage gear in a fashion ad, and they call you a crazy conspiracy theorist for pointing it out. And they love to do this gaslighting shit, right? They try to make you feel crazy for thinking something like most normal.
Acid, thanks for the Prime subscription. Welcome. Appreciate you.
People would think is weird. Literal soup brain. Leather isn't innately related to BDSM. What's wrong?
Leather wasn't, but those straps and harnesses were.
Wrong with a child seeing BDSM gear? The child does not know it's sexual. What harm comes from this?
Honey. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, who's reaching?
Who gives a shit, dude? It's a kid holding a teddy bear. How traumatizing. People love to misunderstand fashion. It's so tiring. It's not pedophilia, it's fashion, Mom. Look it up.
Oh my God.
Is putting a leather harness on a dog BDSM too?
Why are you okay with this? Why are you okay with, because like this is a situation where you can read between the lines. Like the Balenciaga thing is a place where you can read between the lines because it is a situation where it's like, here is BDSM gear on a teddy bear with a child. You see shit like that, like BDSM gear on a teddy bear that is a purse or a teddy bear or whatever the fuck it is, whatever. That in and of itself, honestly, not that surprising. Because you'll see that kind of shit, again, with older models. Like, you'll see it with adults or whatever. And they're trying to be like, just like you'll see, you know, super, like, kind of sexualized, like, what is supposed to be, like, school outfits, right? Like, you know, on adult women or whatever, right? It's a bit, okay? I'm not saying it's necessarily okay or the right thing, but I'm saying it's a thing. And we don't pause at that when it's adults with that thing because we're just like, it's adults. There's this whole thing of like, you know, they're not necessarily innocent anymore. So it's not a big deal. So it is like the corruption of innocence because it is a teddy bear, which you relate to children and innocence, with BDSM stuff, which you do not, which relate to innocence. And it's, you know, that's the thing, right? When you put it with a child, it's like, you know, and that's probably what they were thinking. Put it with a child. The child is innocent. The fact that it is a teddy bear is innocent. The fact that it has BDSM gear on is not, right? But the whole picture is like not okay to me, I think, right? So what kind of harness are you putting on a dog? This person? Like, what kind of harness? Because first of all, why are you putting a leather harness on a dog? Why aren't they make things that are more comfortable for the dog? Why do you specifically have a leather harness? I mean, even I shouldn't be having to break down art for you. Like, I just like it's just look at it face value. Putting sexual things in a room or having a child hold it and taking pictures of it is not okay. It's just kind of not. And that's kind of what they did. And that should be the full sentence, you know? Jesus Christ.
This child is not being mutilated. It is just holding a bear that happens to have a leather strap on it. Petco.com. Oh no, they're selling pedophile wear.
I'm sorry, you can't fool a degenerate. That is a BDSM harness.
Maybe Shoe0nHead sees a piece of leather next to a child and starts getting a little, you know, riled up. Maybe it's a little bit of projection on Shoe0nHead's part.
Oh, you...
As someone who has a not safe for work Twitter account in which I see a lot of fan art that is not safe for work of my hyperfixations, that is BDSM gear. That is a BDSM harness, like 100%. Like you could go look up BDS. You can go on a BDSM outfit website, whatever they're called, like website for BDSM gear, and that will be on there. What that bear was wearing. It's not even one of the worst things I'll give you, but it will be on there. Like, what? Oh, it's almost like a dog. No. I mean, they also, you know, there's pet play. That's a thing that exists. You pretend like you're an animal and you're someone's pet. There's multiple kind of pet plays. Whatever. But like, you know, so like if you put a dog harness on a person, that's fetishy, okay? Like I don't... Jesus
a little,
Christ.
You know, riled up. Maybe it's a little bit of projection.
Like, have you only ever done anything that is totally vanilla? Like, and it blows your mind anytime you see something that is not entirely vanilla? Like, do you not live on the internet? Do you not live? I'm not saying, like, you can't just be vanilla your whole life. If that's what you like, that's what you like. That's totally fine. But, like, realize that there's other stuff going on in the world.
On Shoe0nHead's part.
Oh, you think this looks weird? Well, you must be a pedophile yourself. Wow, got him. This shit went viral on like normie Twitter and Facebook and TikTok. There were like Zoomer girls on TikTok like, oh my god, this shit crazy, for real, this shit not bussin'. And you're over here pretending it's perfectly fine and not weird and only Nazis and pedophiles would have a problem with this. Okay. Just reject the evidence of your eyes and ears.
Why do you care so much about like Balenciaga too? Like, why do you care so much about coming to Balenciaga's aid? Because that's what's coming. That's how this is kind of coming off. Like, why are you like? Because it's like you're attacking Shoe, and it really feels like because of this Balenciaga thing. So you're attacking Shoe on the behalf of Balenciaga for whatever fucking reason. And even if you're like, no, that's not the point. It's like, but that's what you're doing. Even if that's not what you're actively trying to do, that is what you are doing. I don't want to normalize children with sexual objects in high fashion. I'm sorry, I don't. That's just me personally. Hey, that one guy, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. Like, that's just me personally. I'm not comfortable with that, okay? Like, I don't think that is something as a society we should be comfortable with.
Balenciaga better be paying you people good, because if they're not, that's even more pathetic. They should at least throw you like one of those $3,000 high-heeled...
Yeah, I saw these things too! These fucking... Oh my god. I saw these fucking shoes too, where I was. What the fuck is this? Like what? First of all, are you paying Crocs? Like, did you pay for the ability to make these horrendous fucking things? Jesus Christ.
Crocs or whatever the f***. Like, the brand itself even admitted it was weird, yet you're over here running defense for them for free. Even more annoying than the gaslighting has to be the whataboutism. I see whataboutism all the time when I make content. When I talk about police brutality, what about violence against police officers? When I talk about men being cringe, what about women being cringe? When I talk about women being cringe, what about men being cringe?
Yeah, those Croc shoes looks like someone just was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this hideous. I'm gonna make this thing, and it's like an art piece, or like I'm just gonna make this thing and like try to sell it for stupid amounts of money online. But like, would you buy it? Like, I don't understand. I would never. I don't care how much money I have. Like, I don't care if I win the $1 billion lottery tomorrow or some shit like that. I will never. First of all, I'll probably never buy Balenciaga because I'm just against, this aside, how hideous a bunch of their shit just is. Like, I don't know. Also, again, I don't want to be a walking billboard. I'm tired of all of your logos being everywhere. No. I'm already giving you enough money without me having to advertise for free for you. That's just me personally, but whatever. But, like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not going to buy those. What are you... Christ.
You can always tell when someone doesn't really have a point or they are low-key defending the thing you're talking about when they do this what about shit. And every time you want to talk about weirdo shit involving children.
They're focusing on the BDSM teddy bears and not the child porn the CP, like whatever, news article, because they can't talk about that. That was in really poor taste. And how do you excuse the fact that that was the one article that could be seen in that picture? Obviously. So it wasn't an accident. That shit was planted. That shit was made, right? It was like artistically placed. Like they did it on purpose. So they can't argue that. They could just argue like, no, it's not really, it's just a harness. It's not really sexualized. That's it. Like they can't excuse that one because it's fucking weird. Like, well, hello, Lucas. I'm probably going to forget that, but hi. Welcome.
Children, there's like 12 motherfuckers that crawl out of a rock. Like, notice how they never talk about child beauty contests. All this political theater from you, yet not one mention of banning child beauty pageants.
Listen, personally, child beauty pageants are fucking weird, man. Like, I'm sorry. Y'all can come for me about it. It's weird. It's weird to me personally. And also, I feel like it's damaging. Like, I feel like it's damaging psychologically. And that's just me, though. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in one, so.
All this outrage, but nothing about child beauty pageants. Oh yeah? You're talking about this bad thing? What about this other bad thing? What is this, the all lives matter of pedophilia? Multiple things can be bad at once. But it's not 2005. We're not middle-aged mothers from the South. Nobody is out here defending child beauty pageants. This is so weird because Shoe has talked about kink and BDSM in her videos before. She's a hypocrite.
You can have kinks and BDSM as an adult. Like as a treat, or just because you're an adult and you can kind of do that stuff and it's fine. What? What? We're not demonizing having kinks and BDSM. It is the sexualizing the children that's the problem. Like, what do you mean?
I could be wearing a full BDSM harness right now. I could be wearing a full GIMP suit, but it would not matter because my content is not made for children. I am an adult who makes content for adults. You either have a room temperature IQ or you're coping. Shoe is Catholic but never calls out the pedophilia of the Catholic Church. Has June ever talked about pedophilia in the church, I can't find her mentioning it. And again, these people don't watch my content. Hell, I even had a joke about it in my prostasia video. It's literally tax exempted. It is a tax exempted pedophile club. So it's a church. Also, hold on. Remember Cuties? Remember when Cuties came out?
Oh
Cuties,
my God.
which, much like the Balenciaga thing, had nothing to do with LGBT people. And like a dozen articles came out from liberal journalists about how like everyone criticizing it is alt-right. Cuties, the extraordinary Netflix debut that became the target of a right-wing campaign. The controversy surrounding it seems to be propaganda fueled by QAnon types and anti-Semites. Audiences hate it because there's a moral panic right-wing campaign targeting it. Wrong. Leftists like Shoe0nHead and Vosh are critical of the film. Shoe0nHead is a notorious alt-right asshole. Also, you just tagged 2 aggressive, horrible accounts. Please delete that tweet. You're putting people on the thread at risk. And was Cuties not basically beauty pageant shit? It had nothing to do with gay people. And once again, we were calling it out. And where were you? Calling us f***ing Nazis. It doesn't f***ing matter. It doesn't f***ing matter if it's gay or straight. It doesn't f***ing matter if it's a giant corporation or a Netflix movie. They will find a way to call me alt-right for talking about this shit. The absolute urgency and ease at which these people jump on the most optically disastrous swords is both horrifying and incredible to me. The term MAP went from something on Tumblr that I talked about 7 years ago to now real hired academics using the term.
Stigma against MAPs is a problem in part because it makes MAPs think that they're monsters. That's really problematic in terms of MAP well-being. It's really hard to cope when you think you're a terrible person.
I don't know. I don't think I know what that is, but I'm like, I'm connecting some dots and I'm like, maybe you are a horrible person. Yeah, okay, yeah. You are a horrible person. I like it's not hate that. Oh, yeah, no, you are a horrible person. Get help psychologically. Like it's not okay.
Because you have attractions that you can't change.
And I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. Most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them.
Is what you're about to say like they need psychological help? I feel like it's not.
Them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population.
Notice the familiar language they're using. They are co-opting progressive language. And I want the community, I want people in general to get ahead of this. But no, apparently MAP is just a right-wing psyop and I'm just a reactionary and blah, 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 blah. I feel like the crazy scientist in the beginning of a disaster movie that nobody believes. And then it's like too late. And what's upsetting to me as a socialist, what's upsetting to me is the progressive movement, or whatever this is, I don't even know what this is, in the near future is going to wind up at the least ignoring and at the most defending some real disgusting shit in the near future in fear of giving the right ammo. There are right-wing people who are constantly calling everything and anything to do with pedophilia, like gay shit, LGBT shit. Yes, I get it. I have a bi flag in the background of some of my videos and I get comments like, nice groomer flag. Like, I get it. But how long should we not say anything in fear of giving them ammo? Because this was probably the most clear-cut example of something weird and gross, completely unrelated to gay people, and these people still did damage control for it. If anything would ever give the right ammo, it's the way you acted so quickly to defend this shit. And yes, by implying I can't talk about it, or I'm committing scholastic terrorism, or whatever the the new buzzword is, that is defending this.
I mean, the fact that okay. I want to make this very clear. It's not okay. The fact that one person was like, I'm a sex therapist and a psychologist, blah, 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 blah. And so she's seeing people that have this, that are like this, And I'm like, I really hope you are helping them not be like this if you can. Like, because that's not okay. Like, that's one of the things where I'm like, no, that's not okay. Like, you just, no. Just no.
This shit that anyone with eyes can see is creepy. I have been talking about this stuff all of my career, and I have a great track record. I was talking about maps years ago, and now there's hired academics using the term. I warned about Amos Yee, who said I was too mean to pedophiles, and he was arrested for having CP. I exposed Prostasia, then they shut down their forum so young maps could no longer enter it. I helped get the word out about this Balenciaga thing, and even the brand itself had to admit it was creepy and is now doing an investigation into it. I don't care if you yourself don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't care. You do you, I will do me. But all I ask is that you stay out of my way when I am doing me. And just know that I am not sorry, I did nothing wrong, and I will do it again. Goodbye.
Okay. Like, I hate some of that. Do we not, like, it bothers me that as a society we don't, like, sometimes we look at something and go, like, yep, that is 100% bad, and then you have people that are like, well, hold on, let's think about this, and it's like, no, let's not. Like, that's 100%. We have agreed that's 100% bad. And I feel like we should agree that that's 100% bad. Like, you know, that's me personally. But Balenciaga has some ugly shit, and I don't understand why anyone would give them money. Like, they're like, I don't care how high fashion is. There's plenty of other high fashion brands that are not hideous. Yeah. Have a good night, DB. Like, there's plenty that are not just a hideous, weird, stealing. I don't know, actually, if they're stealing, like, designs. But, like, those were obviously Crocs, right? Everything about them screamed Crocs. Like, they're Crocs that they have altered. Like, do they have permission to basically use Crocs to make ugly shoes? Like, uglier shoes, right? Like, do they have permission from, you know, All-Stars, Chuck Taylors, whatever they're called, to make Balenciaga versions of the same design? Like, you know? I just don't understand why. I just don't understand. They're really fucking ugly. I don't know.